Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking a rye. All right, Ben, what do we got today?
We've got a weird one. This is BAM, Basil Hayden Dark Rye. Well, this one should be interesting, if nothing else.
I really have no idea what to expect because I've never had a Basil Hayden rye. I don't know if they make any others.
They do. They've got they have like a Caribbean rye.
Oh,
so they've got a couple other things. So anyway, this is Basil Hayden Dark Rye, 80 proof, runs around $50.
44 I paid.
44, okay.
But I think I got a deal because most Basil Hayden stuff is a little higher just because of...
Yeah, and this is a Kentucky straight rye whiskey blended with Canadian rye whiskey and port. So it's not barrel finished in a port cask.
They actually put wine in this.
They actually put wine in this.
Wow.
So I've never had a whiskey
Maybe
that does that
secret.
before. So
when you take whiskey, right, normally they'd put water in to like proof it down to 80.
yeah, maybe they proofed it down with...
Proof it down with wine.
With
what
wine.
a great idea.
Very, very dark on the color.
But not red, it's really kind of an amber.
It's bordering though. I mean, it's very amber
dark.
for sure. It's like a dark amber.
Yeah.
The nose is...
Ooh, molasses. Like a burnt sugar. Like
Yeah.
In a good way, I don't mean that negatively, but it's very rich.
You definitely get the wine vibes. You know, the first sniff was pretty off-putting, and after multiple sniffs, it's softening up a little bit.
He just wanted to use the word snivs.
Snivs. Kind of reminds me of something. I'm not sure what it is. Let's go in for the taste and see if that reminds us of anything.
Smells like, well, I don't know. I have a hard time putting it. There's something toasted,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Cheers.
Are you prepared to make a statement?
I don't know what that tastes like. I'm not really getting a ton of rye. I'm getting a bit of the wine.
I'm getting
vibes.
a lot of wine. Like,
Yeah.
it is wine forward, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that's the prominent note. And by wine, it's port, and port has its own like. It's not just a wine.
Okay. I know nothing about it.
It's a very like niche kind of wine flavor.
Okay.
And I'm getting that on this. Like it's obviously port, not just a red wine.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this. Brown sugary molasses, I'm with you on that.
Yep.
There's some dark fruit. It's interesting, for sure.
Yeah, brown sugar.
I don't know what to make of this. That's
Almost
just a very
cherry
odd...
kind of flavor.
Is this even considered whiskey once you blend it with...
It can be a whiskey. It's a special whiskey, there's a categorization.
Because I don't know what the laws are for just whiskey in general as a whole, internationally or whatever.
Yeah,
like, because I know you can blend stuff with Scotch in Canada. They're just lawless wastelands with what they can do with their whiskey. Here in America, we keep it pure.
No, there's a special category for these kind of things where it's a blend of things. It still is a whiskey, and there's probably some like percentages that they have to stay within. But
I feel like I'm drinking something that just isn't supposed to be. And it's weird. It's not offensively bad.
So I feel like maybe if you had port and you knew what to expect from just a port, because port typically is, you don't drink it like wine. You have a very small pour in these really small like wine glasses.
Okay.
And it's a dessert wine after dinner with dessert.
Oh, okay.
So it's a special, very high proof, like it's way higher proof than your traditional wine.
I wonder how this would taste against a dessert then.
So
actually be pretty good.
So this is actually very port forward. Like, I mean, so this is, I think that would help if you had tried that.
Yeah, maybe this is, we've never really considered that in a lot of the reviews we've done, because bourbon isn't usually tailored for
Food.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this being such a like a weird Franken whiskey with different stuff in it, maybe this is geared towards, hey, this is an after dinner dessert pour. Which now, I think, for science and culture, we're gonna have to do a video where we get like some cheesecake or something.
Oh.
Or some sort of like chocolate mousse, or whatever, and then try this.
I like where this is going.
With that.
You know I have to do this. I know.
But this being what it is, I'm getting like some nice red fruit.
This is a drinker though. Like it's not. I think you actually could eat, because I tend not to like bourbon and food. Kind of
Me
food.
either. Yeah, I like to just keep my bourbon separate for the most part.
But this one does have it's
got a dessert quality to it.
It does.
But yeah, it's like this isn't something I would want to just sit and sip on.
I don't know. Well, I disagree.
I feel like this is a very, very like occasional. Sometimes you're in the mood for something different.
Yes, but
and maybe
it has some use cases. I don't know what those use cases are, but I kind of want to find out.
Yeah.
So I want to compare this, or I want to try this with chocolate, with
So we'll have
popcorn.
to drink this for you.
The good news
viewer.
is it's not the most expensive of the Basil Hayden.
Yeah, it's still 45. I mean, it's an experiment, so I don't know. Would you recommend this to? Who would you recommend this bottle to?
Whiskey nerds. I mean, that's who's
don't
going to
even-
watch this.
Right, but I don't even know. I don't even know if I'd recommend it to whiskey nerds, to be honest, because it's impure.
Well,
It's blended with.
What's
I
okay.
think Jim Beam has another. They have like a distiller select that's blended with like some sort of wine or something. But yeah, interesting. I've never had a whiskey that's blended with any sort of a wine before. It makes for an interesting pour, but it's not something that I'm not going to pick up a bottle, and it's not something that I can really see myself just casually sipping on. Like you said, it's probably more used for like
Sipping
experimental.
it comes across a little flat. Like it's missing some. You don't have the barrel character.
Yeah.
I think the wine has really taken away that age, whatever the age is. So it needs something.
Yeah. It's a little weird. It's a little off balance.
It's almost like cherry and citrusy, and yeah, it's definitely not in your traditional bourbon wheelhouse.
Do you know what I honestly wish for this one is if one of the flavors would just take over a little bit more.
And I
feel like they're all evenly flat, and I wish maybe even the wine, if it just had a little more of that wine bite to it, that dry wine bite, would actually kind of.
I think
It's just too smooth, soft around the edges, and I want something a little more aggressive on it.
so. I feel that you're really getting a lot of port. Like that's if
Yeah.
you just had a drink of port, it would be very similar.
Right, but the port is still tamped down in a way that I feel like, or maybe just a little more bare. Like there's something it's like the EQ is all just flat.
Yeah.
And I want to turn one of the levels up. Like there are some good flavors in here, but they're just not balanced. Like one of them needs to come out and take over and just kind of bring the other ones along with.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's a clear as mud description of what this whiskey tastes like. This has been Basil Hayden Dark Rye on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.